Hello, everybody. It's the Wednesday edition of the Reynolds Report here on NSS, and I'm Dave Reynolds. A beautiful day in Toronto today. Perfect as we open up 5 of the 12 local public beaches. The rest should be ready to go by the weekend. What's the holdup, you might ask? Well, acceptable levels of fecal matter, they tell me. I didn't know there was an acceptable level of fecal matter. Brand new study today about beaches. 62% of us actually pee in the water. The number one reason why? The restrooms at the beaches are disgusting. I mean, if you get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're probably pretty good to go. But bring the family to the beach at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and try and use the restroom there. Revolting. Just revolting. Anyway, beautiful weather for the next few days and into the weekend here in Toronto. Lots of sunshine and highs into the mid-20s with a really heavy UV index as well. So make sure you're packing lots of sunscreen. And good afternoon, Rome. Beautiful weather with lots of sunshine happening right through the weekend with highs into the upper 20s and low 30s. A little historical footnote for you today. June 4th, 1944 saw the American troops move into the capital of Italy and freeing the entire country from Nazi occupation. In Japan, in Tokyo, rather unsettled weather for the next few days with clouds and scattered showers and highs only into the mid-teens. It's a good thing that everybody's going to be able to head indoors for the world's largest electronics show happening at the Tokyo Convention Center right through the weekend. And in Sydney, beautiful weather for late fall in Sydney with sunshine and highs into the upper teens. Going to be a great weekend in Sydney, Australia. Things are electric in Los Angeles with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals going tonight. By the way, anybody else disappointed to find out that the Stanley Cup has nothing to do with Mr. Roper from Three's Company? Does anybody actually get that joke? Stanley's Cup. Mr. Roper, whose first name was Stanley.
How long can you stand to look at something so faded and drab?
I don't know. How long have we been married?
Beautiful weather in Los Angeles with lots of sunshine right through the weekend. Highs into the upper 20s, maybe low 30s. Going to be a great next few days in Los Angeles as the awkward family photo exhibit is happening in Los Angeles at the California Heritage Museum in Santa Monica. Hundreds of the best awkward family photos that have ever existed. You won't believe some of these pictures, folks. You can also get your own AFP, awkward family photo, taken at the Awkward Portrait Studio. Perhaps you could make that your Christmas card for next year. Just saying. Well, this is kind of cool. A Romulan sub-commander is visiting Toronto in the next few days. The name Jack Donner probably doesn't mean anything to you unless you're a really hardcore Trekkie fan, but he was pretty prominent in the original Star Trek television series, played in a bunch of episodes, primarily best known for the Enterprise incident, and he played a Vulcan priest in a bunch of episodes as well. He was recently in town promoting his upcoming appearance this weekend, and he talked about what it was like working with Canadian actor William Shatner. You know, he's a nice guy, Donner said. People have the wrong impression about him, but I think that he felt whenever he was on the set, the entire program was on his shoulders. That somewhat made him a little aloof, and maybe people got the wrong impression. Mr. Donner will be appearing this weekend at the Comic-Con Festival at the X here in Toronto. Here's what he had to say in the recent interview.
Romulan sub-commander was on Morning Live today. Jack Donner was in the original Star Trek series. He's best known for that role in the Enterprise incident episode. And then he came back as a Vulcan priest in 2 other shows. He talked about what it was like working with Canadian actor William Shatner.
Nice guy. You know, people have the wrong idea about, they say all sorts of things about him. But I think that he felt whatever he was on, it was on his shoulders, that he was responsible for. And there are a lot of people like that who are that conscientious or compulsive or whatever. And so it caused him to be a little aloof because he was preoccupied.
Right.
All the time.
In the zone.
But I got along with him just fine.
Now, Donner's going to be at the Superfan Comic-Con at the Better Living Show Living Center at the X in Toronto, and that's happening all this weekend.
The New York Rangers will write quite the story if they can capture their first Stanley Cup in 20 years. Game 1 goes tonight. Vegas has the Kings as the overwhelming favorites, surviving the journey in the much deeper Western Conference, also known as Big Boy Hockey. The Kings beat San Jose, Anaheim, and Chicago to get here, 3 of the top 7 teams in the NHL's overall standings this year. Now, this is not to disrespect the Rangers in any way at all. They beat the teams they were handed, but those teams don't really compare at all to the A-listers that Los Angeles had to go through. But where the Rangers may have an edge is they've been sitting at home waiting for the Western Conference Finals to end, getting an extra 3 days rest as the Kings failed to close things out in Game 6 at home and had to travel to Chicago and pull out a thrilling Game 7 in overtime. Now, where's LA's energy right now? The Kings have played the maximum 7 games, all 3 rounds to get here. All 3 series physically demanding. Now, the series features 2 of the game's top coaches in Alain Vigneault and Darryl Sutter. Different in style, but similar in their ultimate result, pushing the right buttons to get the maximum out of their lineups. And they share an important quality as well. They both have great feeling for their respective benches and are excellent at in-game adjustments. Sutter, you might remember, got the best of Vigneault in the opening round of the 2012 playoffs, the number 8-seeded Kings beating Vigneault's number 1-seeded Canucks in 5 games. Should be a great series. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight from Los Angeles. If you were expecting the brawl in 40 last night with the Ontario leaders debate, then you're definitely somewhat disappointed this morning. There was no knockdown brawl, no verbal punch-out that was devastating to any one of the leaders. So, the question lingers as it did before the 90-minute encounter. What impact will the debate have on the campaigns of Andrea Horwath, Tim Hudak, and Kathleen Wynne? For me, it was blah, 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 gas plant, blah, 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 gas plant. That's all I heard. By the way, Ontarians go to the polls in 8 days. Why is it so hard for a horse to win the Triple Crown? Only one more race stands between California Chrome and horse racing's Triple Crown. It goes Saturday at Belmont Park, and it may be his toughest challenge yet. Since the last Triple Crown winner, affirmed in 1978, a dozen horses, Sunday Silence, War Emblem, and Smarty Pants among them, have won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, only to stumble before the finish line at the Belmont Stakes. No one can say exactly why there's been a 36-year drought since the last Triple Crown winner, but here is a theory. The first thing you notice about Belmont Park is that it's big. More than 100,000 people can watch the race from this massive grandstand. At 1.5 miles long, the track is big too. None of the horses in the Belmont field have ever raced at this distance. Pretty exciting stuff on Saturday for the Belmont Stakes. A reminder that The Big Fat Stone, the newest movie starring Frank D'Angelo, totally solid with the critics, co-starring Robert Loggia, Nick Mancuso, and Margot Kidder, opens June 15th at the Italian Contemporary Film Festival. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow, and we leave you with this nice moment between the Dayton Dragons mascot and a young deaf child. This will make your heart happy.
That's gonna stink. Getting this.
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much.
That is amazing. Hunter, what did you think?
Did you put that on video?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god.